Jonathan David, the Director of Voter Services at Committee 70.
Okay. What is the election oversight program?
The Election Oversight Program is a nonpartisan volunteer program. Basically, it's been around since 1905. We first launched it when our organization was founded in 1904. The program is a nonpartisan program, basically there to help make sure that voters can vote, that their rights aren't trampled at the polling places. There are cases when there may be, I guess, a gap between how the election is administered and how it's supposed to be administered. So we kind of are there to make sure voters have the correct information, to answer voters' questions, to make sure the polling place officials know the correct procedures to take in cases like, for instance, if a voter's name isn't in the book or something. And it's completely nonpartisan. We're there basically to make sure that everyone who wants to cast their vote on election day can do so, and that regardless of who that vote's for, that they can vote.
What steps are the 70 committee taking to make sure each person has a chance to vote and feels comfortable during the process?
Well, we every election day, or leading up to every election, we send out many press releases to kind of get as much information in the media as possible, information about deadlines like registration deadlines, absentee ballot deadlines and procedures, and as well as information on kind of how to find your polling place, what steps to take if you're a first-time voter. We, for the first time, published or on our website a number of voting rights guides in different languages. We have a voting rights guide in Russian, in Spanish, in Vietnamese, and Chinese, just to help voters, from who may not speak English as well, or may not speak it as all, or read it as at all, understand and know their rights as a voter, as an American citizen. So a lot of what we do is leading up to election day to help empower voters, help voters kind of understand their own rights, so that they can make sure those rights are upheld, but also know that we're there on election day through our election oversight program to help them on site on election day.
How do you increase voter turnout in urban communities?
Well, I think what we've seen in this past election, or in this past registration period, is a good start. There's been a lot of registration. Philadelphia is a great example of the number of newly registered voters that are coming out. But I think that's only a small part of the equation. The rest is just getting voters engaged and kind of understanding the process. A lot of what we like to do is make sure that voters are well informed. If you're informed about why you need to go out and vote, about how important state representative races are in comparison to some other races, or local races, and then it will really awaken people to the needs that especially in some communities when they may not feel that politics is working for them, they feel that the system's kind of broken for them. Knowing the power of your vote, that if you have a community that has a really strong voter turnout and that your neighboring community doesn't, when it comes down to which community is going to make it a library or something, you speak with your vote. There's always the inclination to kind of put the library in the community that's comes out and votes for the politicians. I mean, politics is a very there's a lot of motives behind it, I guess. I mean, when voters kind of understand like the weight behind their vote, I think that they really will come out more and become more engaged with it.
Last question. What are some potential problems that could happen on election day?
I think some of the problems are going to be just not knowing the procedures. There's a lot of first-time voters. A lot of these voters need to, if you're a first-time voter, you need to bring an identification card. Voters may not know that as first-time voters. There's also a lot of people who might be getting voters away. If you show up to vote and there's like a crowd of 20 people outside the building, just takes that much longer to get in and vote. It can be a tie up there. I think that this election day we're going to see a lot of long lines, or we have the potential to see a lot of long lines. And I mean, a lot of that's based on, we've got a lot of new voters. There's a lot of interest in this election. There's also a lot of people that are looking to influence voters' votes as soon as they enter the polling place. I mean, that's going to be tying up the process also. So there's really a lot of issues that we haven't sort of seen come together in many elections recently. But hopefully through Committee 70's help, I think that we've got close to 1,000 people who will be out volunteering on election day for us, just to help make sure the election runs smoothly. So hopefully we can help to make sure that it does.
Thank you very